Hey friends, it's me, Steve Nawojczyk, the 501 Coroner. I want to take you on a little journey today, one that might be a bit heavier than some of my usual back roads and memories. You know, we live in a time when conspiracy theories don't just sit in the shadows anymore. They are mainstream, they are monetized, and they are hurting people. Sometimes with words and sometimes with bullets and always with mistrust. As someone who's seen what misinformation does to families in grief and communities in crisis, I think it's worth laying this out plainly. In 2017, an anonymous poster calling themselves Q Clearance Patriot began dropping cryptic messages on 4chan. Those riddles grew into QAnon, a massive theory that claimed a secret cabal of satanic pedophiles controlled politics and entertainment, and that Donald Trump was fighting them in silence. This wasn't some harmless game. The Watkins family, who owned the forum 8chan, gained traffic and power. Influencers turned Q into a cottage industry, books, podcasts, and merchandise. And believers became mobilized. They showed up at rallies. They stormed the Capitol. Families were torn apart. What began as a keyboard fantasy metastasized into a real-world movement of anger, fear, and violence. QAnon is only the most famous. From 2010 to now, conspiracy theories have been flooding every crisis, every election, and every tragedy. In 2012, at Sandy Hook, Alex Jones claimed grieving families were actors. He made millions selling supplements. Courts later ordered him to pay over $1 billion to those families. 2015, there was Jade Helm. A routine military exercise in Texas became a supposed government takeover plot. Politicians even gave it oxygen. 2016, Pizzagate. A D.C. pizzeria was accused of hosting a child trafficking ring. A man showed up with an AR-15. Thankfully, no one was killed. 2020, the pandemic. We saw 5G towers spread COVID. Bill Gates is putting microchips in vaccines. And the viral plandemic video. Misinformation didn't just confuse people, it cost lives. And then, of course, in 2020, the election, the Stop the Steal narrative, Dominion voting machines accused of switching votes, foreign satellites blamed for hacking results. Networks and politicians raised millions off of those lies. One network alone had to pay $787 million in a settlement for broadcasting false claims. These theories are sticky for a reason. They give us villains. They give us certainty when life feels uncertain, and they give some people, political leaders, media personalities, and internet hustlers, money and power. The costs, though, are staggering. Broken trust, divided families, radicalized citizens, even violence. We become a nation where truth itself feels negotiable. That's not just dangerous, that's corrosive. And here's what worries me. If we stop trusting one another, if we refuse to fact-check the things that confirm our fears, then we are doomed to live in a permanent fog of suspicion. And in that fog, it's easier to sell hate. It's easier to keep people divided. It's easier to control us, not by truth, but by fear. As a coroner, I've had to tell mothers and fathers that their child is gone. I've seen grief up close, and I'll tell you this. Adding lies and hate on top of that grief is cruelty, plain and simple. Some political leaders seem to wink at these theories, maybe because they benefit from the chaos. But leadership should mean responsibility. Leadership should mean steering people toward the light, not deeper into the fog. So why talk about this today? Because all of us are vulnerable. Even smart, thoughtful people can get swept up into lies when we don't stop and ask, where's the evidence and who's profiting from this? It's not about left or right. It's about truth versus lies, trust versus suspicion, healing versus hate. And I'll end like I always do with a reminder from the heart. Y'all be kind to each other, okay?